Wait, look at me. No one ever said butterflies don't like rum.
Welcome to Baking with Frank. Frank Rush was a baker at the turn of the 20th century at the Uffelman Baking Company in Cincinnati, and then at his own bakery in Newport, Kentucky. Frank was also my great-grandfather. Through his handwritten batch-sized recipe book, I'm breaking down his recipes and getting to know him better. I'm Tom Mattingly, and this is Baking with Frank.
Welcome back to Baking with Frank. So today we're making, well, it's going to be a little bit of a hodgepodge. Let's just call it what it is. So Frank has a cake. I'm assuming it's a cake because there's no instructions. Don't know what that was. Frank has a cake that's called butterfly. That's all it says, butterfly. So I did a little research to see if I could figure out what this was, and I can find nothing that is a butterfly cake other than butterfly-shaped cakes or butterfly-shaped cookies or, such and such. So I thought, sounds like a good time to make a rum cake to me. So that's what we're going to do. My grandma used to make rum cake. She would swear that she did not if you had asked her. But I remember very distinctly her making rum cake and it being delicious, and she made it once and never made it again. So we're going to make grandma's rum cake. Or not. So, to get started, starting with the butterfly. Get this down here where you can see what's going on. All right, so into the bowl, we are putting 1/3 cup of olive oil. Now, this is yet another experiment. Recipe calls for lard, as we know. I have a lard. So I converted it to butter, but I thought, what the heck, let's give this a shot. So we're going to put that in there, and we've got 2 eggs here somewhere. Here they are. 2 eggs, and we're going to give that a spin just to get things moving. And I'm going to add 1 pound of sugar, regular old table sugar. I have the feeling, just because there's a whole lot of dry and not a lot of wet ingredients in this, it's going to be a lot like a pound cake. Don't know that yet, but we're going to find out. All right, to that, adding 4 ounces or a half cup of milk. One and a half pounds of flour. Okay, so that's about half of the flour. So I'm going to add in that, in the recipe, a 1/4 ounce and about a half teaspoon of salt. I have the oven preheating to 350. It's becoming almost like bread. I'm going to stop it there for a hot second and take some dark rum. We're going to do, where is it? There it is. 1/4 cup of dark rum. Don't worry, the alcohol will cook out, in theory. But yo ho ho, a bottle of rum. Mom spoon down. Ooh, it smells good. What with that rum in there? I'm going to put in about a tablespoon of vanilla and a 1/4 pound of walnuts. Now, this is another deviation. In butterfly, whatever the hell that is, you use raisins. Not doing that. All right. There's that. Loaf pan. Good old baking spray. That should do it. So this one's going to take a hot minute to cook because it's so dense. And wait, look at me. No one ever said butterflies don't like rum. All right, there's just a little bit of flour on the top there. Give it a quick stir to get that in. This is super dense. Not the first time I've been called super dense. Probably won't be the last time I've been called super dense. We're going to go in the oven for, I'm going to say it's going to take the better part of an hour, but we'll start at 40 minutes. Come test it, see where we are. Go do something fun, like hitting the like and subscribe. And if there's a French fry button, hit that one too. I should also mention that this week we reached 100 subscribers on the YouTube channel, and I am very grateful. And it is very humbling to think that Frank, who might have known 100 people in his life, has 100 people watching now, watching what he created. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So you know what makes rum cake even better is more rum. So we're going to make a rum glaze. So here we have 1 stick of butter that we're going to melt down over medium heat. Probably got a little more on that. Got 2 minutes left on the cake. We're now going to 45 minutes. It smells fantastic, but taking longer than 40. So we might have to stop in the middle of this. But we're going to melt the butter down. And here in the bowl, we have a half cup of white sugar, a half a cup of brown sugar, a quarter of a cup of rum, a quarter of a cup of half and half, and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add all of that while this is bubbling. Just the wet ingredients soaked into the sugar, so it's a bit of a glop. But hey, we'll make it work. Just like that. Okay, all the butter is melted. We have 47 seconds left on the cake, in theory. Turn this down a little bit. All right, so we let that boil for 2 minutes. Yes, I have not set a timer for the 2 minutes, but I have for cake. Yeah, that's going to need a little longer. All right, I'm going to call that 2 minutes on the sauce and turn the heat off. So we ended up going 1 hour and 10 minutes on that one. And it probably could have gone another 5, but it started to smell like it was burning. And I'm going to do that. So that's all well and good, right? Problem 2. We rose a bit, and part of putting the topping on is putting it back in the pan. So we're going to improvise. Shocking, I know. So here's a theory. Here's the theory. I'm going to hold on to it with this hand because it's still hot. Empty it into this hand. It's going to come off like magic, which it actually seems to be trying to do. Just like that. Let's set that over there. We're going to put it in this larger pan like that. Look at that. That worked. Toothpick. There's some solid spots on this. The goal here is to create lots of spots for the glaze to run into, just like a Pope cake. We'll have a Pope cake. Frank does not have a Pope cake recipe because I think Pope cake came around long after Frank was gone. And we're going to take our topping, you'll remember that, and pour it over. Uh-oh. Had an overflow on this side. Delicious overflow. That'll work. And over we go. Just like that. Pop that off. Yet another thing to wash. Suppose I can poke holes in that side too, eh? Although you can see where it's doing a fine job of soaking in. There we go. And we're going to let that, wait, look at me. I'm going to let that soak just for a minute. And then we're going to have cake. Here we go. Ooh, it is liquid in the middle. Well, in the interest of science, I'm going to cut off that piece. But you can see here, that's just pudding. So clearly need to go for longer than an hour and 10. Still going to give it a taste. The shame of it is, it's actually really good. Next time I'll use a bunt pan or something, because that's just a crying shame right there. Maybe I'll put it back in the oven and see it. Nah, that won't work. Why is my life so hard? All right, y'all. First time for everything. So after yesterday's disaster with the, well, we're going to call it a lava cake, it was just too darn good. So I had to give it another shot. So I've made it today with the bunt pan, as discussed. And here we are. Exactly the same recipe. Cooked this time. Look at that. Crazy. Only difference. I didn't put nuts in because I forgot. But we're going to see if it holds up in the bunt pan. Smells great. Stupid good. So good it's stupid. Yeah. You try this. I'll go on enjoying mine.